locked into the NFL on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota State. Two teams here fresh off Week 1 victories. Who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports? This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Hey, 250. Zero.
Stafford on first down. Well, he's going to take a shot right away and nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's second down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. On the ground, this is the former Viking, Jerick McKinnon. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6. Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. Well, they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. You don't see that a ton, do you? The cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. The ex-Iowa Hawkeye Mike Daniels in for the sack. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. And he's able to find Diggs. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Tucker with the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. Scoring summary. 3-play drive. And it's polished off by a Viking score. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you.
And pressure coming, and they got him once again. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
You call plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
No, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on, how about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. On first down now, a run with McKinnon. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Second down, McKinnon. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A first down there on a pickup of 25. They had a chance to limit his yardage, but he was able to fight off that tackle.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackles along the way. It's all Lebanon defense able to stop this guy.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. The defensive end, Daniil Hunter, drops him. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Here's Stafford. And this will be incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Stafford. He finds McKinnon, complete. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jerick McKinnon, his first touchdown of the new season as his guys... on the board here in this first quarter. Now Stephen Gostkowski on for the extra point. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to them.
Give them 18 there and give the Vikings a first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Jackson now. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Jackson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Evan Ingram, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Vikings have taken the lead. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now first quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they scored in opening weekend are going to hold up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we've got to really be ready on defense because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
You think they can keep piling on? The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stanford. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant you to flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
From the 27, Jackson. Looking here for Smith downfield. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now Jackson, and an alley to run. And he slides to avoid the hit.
Let's go.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Through 1 quarter, 14-7 our score. 2nd quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Throwing is Jackson. Going deep for Diggs. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Jackson is going to fire one deep over the middle. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spend too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. Here's the correct call.
They've moved the ball over 50 yards between this play and the last one. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get... And Thielen's got it! Touchdown, Vikings! Adam Thielen, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor, in effect.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out now come the Lions. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Stafford now to throw. He's got his tight end over the middle, T.J. Hockenson.
Lady.
They go draw play to McKinnon. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
"35 yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. A tremendous play there from Saquon Barkley. 42 yards. And you talk about great blocking up front. I don't think he was even touched, not a finger on him, until he was brought down to the ground.
I think we heard the whoosh as he went by, didn't we? Right through the gap. No one there, as you outlined. No one.
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Hollywood Marquise Brown. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on 1st and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And you know they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. Now it's Stafford off the bootleg. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Golladay. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
On 1st down, McKinnon. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Denzel Ward, the number 4 pick in the 2018 draft, making the tackle from his corner spot.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. Still longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
On 1st and 10, Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 1st down, it's Stafford. Looking for his running back, and he's got it. Oh, it's out. McKinnon fumbled it, and the Vikings pick up the football. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his 2nd week of the regular season. A 1st down carry for Barkley. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
Steps away to his left. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first. Now Jackson on first down. That is caught at the 7. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. The 3 red zone trips, 3 touchdowns so far. They'll look for a 4th on 2nd and goal. Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Knocking it away there defensively, Justin Coleman. A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Escaping the pressure, and the Vikings are in for the touchdown.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now a first down throw. Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Stafford. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. The Lions on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. Throwing again is Stafford. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. 3rd down here. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Jackson. And now he'll turn, and off his back foot, he'll heave it. And that's caught inside the 30. So we've come to halftime. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This fielded at the 2. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They keep it with Barkley on first down. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Back-to-back good plays, have them on the move on first down. Here's Jackson to throw. Man open left side is Brown. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Jackson now 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%, and it's 1st and 10. Now it's Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Jackson to throw again. Flushed out right. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions.
All right, let's be frank. You hate the fumble at the end of the play, but prior to that, I liked a lot of what was going on. Tucks it down, takes off, picks up good yardage. But in that portion of the field, that close to the sideline,
step out.
Yeah, either get down or get out of bounds. Take care of the ball.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Daniil Hunter picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
That's his 2nd sack of the game. And the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. Call it a gain of 5. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. 3rd and long. It's Stafford. And an alley to run. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Tucker with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down. Well, that last completion certainly not what they were hoping for, as now they'll try to convert on 3rd. James has it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Stafford gives to Johnson on the draw. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing is Stafford. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Daniil Hunter able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. On the ground, this is Johnson. DeMarcus Lawrence in on the tackle. Throwing on 3rd and long. Stafford, screen play, McKinnon. A short gain there of just 4, and that'll bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion. What you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
All things considered, a pretty good kick. Just cruel punishment there to be denied by the crossbar.
If you're going to hit from that distance, sometimes you're going to need a little luck. And unfortunately for him, this time the break goes against him.
They'll start out on the ground, and Saquon Barkley. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Vikings. Saquon Barkley. His 3rd touchdown now on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
And a loose football. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. Here's McKinnon on the draw. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. On first down, McKinnon again. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Stafford. And that's off the mark, incomplete. He was trying to get it to Jerick McKinnon there. And it's 3rd down. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. To throw is Stafford. That's to Fulgham, complete. And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a first down. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there.
Touchdown, defense. Mike 55, Mike 55.
They're not ready for this. They're not ready for this. They still playing soccer. Y'all playing.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And they'll get him down right around the 16. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. From the 16, Stafford out to the left there and complete to the tight end, Hockenson. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Stafford to the end zone, but it's incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
The 20. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Vikings. Saquon Barkley with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know that plenty of people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Stafford on first down. To the right and complete to Galladay. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. To throw on second down is Stafford. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. Throwing on 3rd and long. Stafford. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He has a chance to hit that often elusive 200-yard mark on this drive.
And most of the time during a game, people aren't keeping track of individual statistics.
Are you sure?
Well, a lot of the runners kind of know. But I'll guarantee you, someone has sent word into the offensive line that he's got a chance to get over 200 on this drive. That should give them a little extra motivation because they love it when backs break that barrier.
Absolutely. We'll see if he can do it. They'll go to Barkley again. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 15 yards on the play, 1st down. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Eluding the pressure right. He's got a 1st down and then some at midfield. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock is going off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. A toss out to Barkley. He's got the 1st down here inside the 30. And finally down at the 9-yard line. A big play on the ground there. It goes for 36 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Here's Jackson. flush to his right, and he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
From the 2 now, second and goal. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants him to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here comes a big tight end as he gets set for this next drive. And look at the numbers. They have gotten him more involved. I guess the question now, Charles, defensively, how do you make him less involved?
That's always a key question, isn't it? Sometimes other guys are starting to play really well, and you shift your attention to them. You got to make sure you got full
pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. They'll find a man over the middle. It's Galladay. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. The Lions on third down. They've had a lot of chances, but not much success, converting only 3 times. This is 3rd and 14. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. Oh, look at the juke. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head. But
that's
the virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here.
And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Vikings, They use the favorable early schedule to their advantage as they move to 2-0. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Lions, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. We are moments away from what...
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, it's Week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Minnesota Vikings and the Atlanta Falcons. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by the #1 overall pick of the 2008 draft, the man they call Matty Ice, quarterback Matt Ryan.
And I saw that he had an interesting quote in the research packet that we had after last week's game. It's all on me now. I've got to lead my team and find a way for us to win a game. 0-2, but they're at home. I guess he's going to try and find a way to get the home crowd involved early.
Ready. White 25. 52 to the mic. Drop deep, drop deep.
A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. He completes it to Julio Jones. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 30. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. He's got Freeman here. It's complete. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Here's Ryan. And finding the tight end Hooper. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there. Yeah,
I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Here we go. Let's bring it. Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it. Check, check, check.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And he's going to lose yardage back to his own 1-yard line. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd
under pressure, and down he goes in the end zone, and that's a safety. Well, we thought these 2 defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here, a safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away, because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Now a toss right to Barkley. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23. In a word, I would say productive, finding the end zone 3 different times.
Is it possible that you're really underselling it? 3 touchdowns, just going to call him productive?
What do you want?
This guy had a nose for the end zone.
He was good.
Had a snoot full, didn't he? How about that? Big-time game.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson. And this is caught at the 8. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Tucker with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage if you do.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Sacked by Yannick Ngakoue, the former Maryland Terp. They said there was a lot of discussion in their defensive team meeting room after last week's performance. They had 7 sacks. Something in the water. There's one in the first quarter.
A lot of discussion, a lot of excitement because now everyone wants to get involved with this. Who's going to continue that process? Who's going to get to the quarterback this week? But they have to be careful. When you have that much pressure, they want to use it against you. Draws, screens, those types of plays.
We'll see if they do that. Got to assume this defense will be charging again. In here, it's 2nd and 15. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. He's going to air one out into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
They'll run on first down. Barkley. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Vikings. Saquon Barkley, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Delay of game, offense.
So that'll back him up 5. Tucker now for the extra point. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Matt Ryan and the offense heading back onto the field. And he'll look to rebound from the early interception that led to 6 points the other way.
And when he threw the interception and he had to come to the sideline, I guarantee his first thought wasn't about the interception itself, but what could result. And I know he was thinking to himself, come on, defense, bail me out. Well, they weren't able to in this situation. Now he's got to go out and atone for it himself, but he can't force things.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up second down.
When you're trying to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic.
And Freeman lost the football, and his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Now Saquon Barkley. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Saquon Barkley with his second TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Getting it out left side to Sanu. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
That makes him now 0 for 2 here in the first quarter on 3rd down conversions.
And now they'll look to their defense because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands first. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. On second down, here's Barkley. Gets through, and now an opening. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain there of 30 big ones. Boy, some big runs here, Charles, already in this first quarter.
Yeah, if the lanes are there, go ahead and exploit them. But what I like the most, how decisive he is, putting his foot in the ground and going.
Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. From the 32 now, here's first and 10. On first down, they go right back to Cohen. But he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Vikings. Tariq Cohen, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. And the route is on here in this first half. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Matt Ryan and the Falcon offense set to get going again. The second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Well, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Ryan gets it to his tight end, Hooper. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. To throw is Ryan. Gets it off to Freeman. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Call it a 3-yard gain. And just like that, it's third down.
I got one. Ready, set.
On third down, Devontae Freeman. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
I haven't met a football team yet that runs the ball successfully that doesn't talk about having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the first down sticks are, and get there.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Ryan. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Myles Garrett in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Myles Garrett, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. Ryan going to give to Freeman on the draw. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
Tariq Cohen and the rest of the offense heading back out there. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Saquon Barkley on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns as his guys continue to pour it on. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field in this drive.
Poor punter. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Myles Garrett make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. The reception good for 7. It's third down. On third down, Ryan. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33.
A short gain that doesn't get him the first down brings up a fourth down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They begin with a run by Barkley. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to make the tackle. Well, earlier this half, you were wondering how they were going to defend him. I think you used the term bottle him up at different levels. They've struggled to do that.
They certainly have, because when you see them approach, in order to bottle him up at different levels, that front line's got to take care of business. Otherwise, he starts to slip through.
That one good for 33 and a first. Whether it's the toss or the pitch, you get him the ball outside the tackles on the edge. He's a tough man to bring down.
He certainly is, and it makes people wonder on the other side of the ball. Do I really want to deal with him when he gets a full head of steam? At the same time, he's also congratulating his tackle, tight end, wide receiver on that side. They gave him access to the corner and allowed him to build up that head of steam.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Watch the edge.
To throw is Jackson. Going to throw again. Jackson hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, the team
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Isaiah Oliver with the INT. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is third down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
And he's going to go down. Back back at his own 5-yard line. It's a sack. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. And now he's going to go down in the end zone. Down goes Matt Ryan, and that's a safety. And the safety there, another mistake, and these mistakes just keep piling up.
How many more can they make? They put themselves in such a massive hole now. It's going to be difficult to dig out from under.
Yeah, for sure they can't afford anymore at this point. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
We own them. Check 99. Check 99.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And this will not be a good return. He's out of bounds at the 12.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
Again, it's Barkley. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Any team that runs the toss and runs it successfully, that means they win the battle on the edges. That means you seal the edge in order to let your back get to the corner. They got it done there for a very nice game.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. He's going deep for Brown. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
But it's not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete. But you're right, hasn't been a banner game here in the second half, just trying to get going.
Big thing is trying to keep confidence up and continue to fire.
He's going deep for Brown. And that's caught inside the 30. A big play there for Minnesota. 47 yards.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for them.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
This will be caught inside the 10.
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. This is Cohen. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. The last run got 9. That leaves him with second and a yard.
Let's make these babies grow.
Barkley, toss play left. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on third down. To throw is Jackson. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. Lamar Jackson, his 10th touchdown of the season, second of the game, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Tucker with the extra point.
Well, this was a pass all the way, but he just kept buying time, didn't he? It was kind of like, wait. Oh, it's open. Time to hot-foot it and go. And, boy, was he successful.
Yeah, didn't go to the outside toward the pylon, just straight ahead, middle third of the field.
Shortest distance between 2 points, straight line.
So we get set to start this third quarter. Here's the Falcons offense now. They just yielded a touchdown on the other end. Now they'll be trying to answer the bell and get a score of their own.
It's their opportunity to match. Can they do exactly what they just saw happen to them? Go down the field and score a touchdown. And to me, the best way to do it, look at your play sheet coordinator and call plays for guys that make the best plays for you. Go to the guys that you know can get the ball down to the end zone.
On second down, Freeman. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a first down for the Falcons. Ryan leads with Freeman on the draw. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. Second down. No gain on the play there. Second down. Freeman again. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. He's already fumbled once in this game, and I thought the ball started to jostle there a little bit, but they got to him quickly at the line of scrimmage.
They sure did, and remember, if you're not a very confident runner and you've already dropped it once, if there's traffic around you, the only thing you think about is protecting the football, not gaining yards.
No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on fourth.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
So here are the Vikings to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10.
Check. Fresno.
On first down, Barkley. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. Past the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. Saquon Barkley, an 80-yard touchdown as his guys continue to pour it on. Now you talk about the dominating rushing performances that you and I have seen together. This has got to be right up there. His 4th touchdown run of the game and another long one to boot.
And I don't need to ask for a witness because you're right here with me. We are watching this, and we're watching such a performance that is demoralizing for anyone on defense. You know, it starts out coaches screaming, tackle him, get him. And after that last touchdown, I bet it's pure silence on that side of the ball.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. The dump-off gets him only one, and now you're looking at a third down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Now it's Ryan. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Ryan. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Myles Garrett has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Now Ryan. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 3rd and 2, now Ryan. And that will be incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
At the 39-yard line.
They'll run on 2nd down with Cohen. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 47. They'll try the right side here. Barkley, they're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets them back now for 2nd down. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Jackson, he's going deep for Brown. That's going to be caught. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Marquise Brown, his 11th touchdown of the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's
on like the 5th tune.
Yeah, she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. From the shotgun, Ryan. He's got Hooper on the short connection. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. To throw again on 2nd down. Ryan, they'll set up the screen for Freeman. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Ryan. It's caught over the middle. Hooper. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 3rd and 1, Ryan. And that is incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. A first down carry for Barkley. Desmond Trufant there making the tackle.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold them to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. They'll run it again with Barkley. And I think the ball's out. And the Falcons say they have it. They do.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again. Ryan. And, this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. The Falcons on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This will be nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Here's Matt Bosher now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
A nice burst there as they'll get about 7 that time on the first down run. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. They'll keep it on the ground. Barkley shifts by him. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. So a solid run by Saquon Barkley and another 1st and 10 here. And despite the late lead, Jackson to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's caught inside the 30. A big play there for Minnesota. 48 yards. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Minnesota, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get another road test next week as they have to go to Lambeau to take on the Packers. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
You know what they say. Something's got to give. It's a coach. You're immersed in the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see two teams.
Coach, this is such a special place. You drive through the streets of Green Bay, no tall buildings, quaint houses, and then boom, right there in the middle of the neighborhood is iconic Lambeau Field. Today, it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Rodgers now on first down. And he's got some space here. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. And the defense could not have written a much better script than that. First. Drive, pick 6.
The offense never got a chance to really get oiled up there, did they? But the defense, they certainly got in gear. What a big-time play and a great way for them to start.
And now the offense, they've got to turn things around and figure this out because your backs are on the ground real quickly.
Yeah, usually when you're starting the game getting the ball, 0-0 is the only score you're worried about. Now the second time you get it, you're already down a touchdown.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And his first carry, he loses the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. Well, he's going to have to shake out the cobwebs first time he touches the football, and he drops it on the ground.
So many times we talk about quarterbacks and taking care of them early to get them in the flow with safe throws, right? But with a runner, there's no such thing as a safe run, right? Right out of the gate, you're going to be in some traffic. Got to take care of the ball, and he didn't do that.
It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
Oh, ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
Here's Aaron Jones in the offense trotting back out. He's got to clear his mind a little bit right now. One carry, and that carry was a lost fumble.
Clear his mind, clear his hands, and just let this one go. Sometimes it happens. You drop the ball. Got a full game ahead of him. Hand it to him again. See if they can start to produce.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored. You give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Rodgers. And some room to roam now. And he will bring this down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner forgets starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that because that's the money zone. Get it into the end zone and make your cash.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Saquon Barkley, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you get the defensive touchdown early to give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, we've had that conversation with them prior to the game. They always say, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that's...
About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays.
And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. Tucker now to add the point after. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. The tank, DeMarcus Lawrence with a sack. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Here's Rodgers to throw. That's complete to the former Aggie, Jay Sternberger. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a draw play. This is Jones. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. The numbers for Jones last week: 17 carries, 58 yards, and a score.
He's been a huge part of their winning streak because he establishes not just an identity and a tone, but the team relies on it. He takes care of the football, he gains yardage for him, chews up clock, and that's been a big part of why they're winning games lately.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. You're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line. They'll try and run for it with Jones. He is going nowhere as he is enveloped behind the line. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beefeaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a first down.
Well, we got beefeaters licking their chops and tasty dish in one fell swoop.
I did apologize in advance, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. That line's not eating tofu. I'll tell you that much for free. A 55-yard attempt, normally you'd say well within his range. Little surprised he came up short.
And he knew it immediately, didn't he? They are so calibrated, aren't they? They can tell the touch, the feel. When they put the foot to the ball, whether it's going to be good or not, he knew immediately he didn't have that one.
There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Vikings. Saquon Barkley with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it is stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. You've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time, first half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
And yet again, he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by this Vikings defense.
Let's go.
Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Harrison Smith. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. On the run, it's Barkley. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He went backwards 7 yards, setting up a tough 3rd down. If you're going to run against this unit, especially down here, just beware. I mean, they're the top rushing defense in the league.
Yeah, and then they go ahead and they double down with the whole thing because you think, okay, let's throw the ball. Oh, yeah, that's right. They defend the pass pretty well, too. Very difficult task right now.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Zadarius Smith. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop. Well, certainly not the way that they were hoping that possession would end, failing to convert on fourth.
And now they've got to make sure that they keep their poise, they keep their confidence. Just because it didn't work once doesn't mean if they get that same situation later that they shouldn't go for it again. The defense feels great, but the offense, they can't be despondent.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. On second down now, it's Jones. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with third and still 7 yards to go. Throwing is Rodgers on third down. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Taking it about the 16. Call that a 46-yard punt with a net of 40 on the 6-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The offense back out there at the line ready for their next drive. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he...
Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. Touchdown, Vikings. Saquon Barkley doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter as his guys continue to pour it on. Go ahead and give him the hat trick. He's been in the end zone now 3 times.
You toss your fedora first, okay? You go ahead and do that. But let's be honest about it. That 3rd one, that's the most spectacular run he's had in the ballgame. It's almost as if he's been playing his own game of, can I top this? And each run has been more spectacular than the last.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Hey, watch the slant. Watch the slant.
Rodgers now on first down. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. Back for the second quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football as they've got it with a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. On second down, it's Jones. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
All day, just like that. Just like that.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
Rodgers to throw on 3rd and 1. This one to the right, caught by Valdez-Scantling.
Come on, fellas.
It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence able to record his 5th sack of the season. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
You got it.
On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they've presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as this season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A gain there of 21 yards. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you've got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
He's going to rifle one deep, trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Kevin King with a pick. And he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. He'll get a couple yards on that one, and that'll make this a second down. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. To throw, it's Rodgers. Looking left side, and he's got Sternberger. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
A gain of 4. Brings up 3rd and 4.
From the gun on third down, Rodgers. And Adams has it complete. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Rodgers finding Adams for a Packer first. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, a give to Jones. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Give the tackle there to Danielle Hunter. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Game clock at 2:01. Time for one final play before the 2-minute warning. To throw is Rodgers. To throw on third down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. You start prorating these rushing numbers and looking ahead, he could be on pace for a 2,000-yard season. I don't want to jinx him, but what a year to this point.
But you just did.
Sorry?
That's okay. No, he can overcome that.
I'm not
right?
apologizing to you.
No.
Okay?
I like your attitude. But you're right. What's got to happen for it to actually occur? Offensive line has continued blocking the way they've been blocking. He has to stay healthy. But also, it's not just the idea that he's going to run the football, but he's got to run it against numbers that dictate you throwing the football. Sometimes when you have 6 to block and you only have 5 guys, you've got to block them anyway, and he has to make someone miss as well the rest of the year.
So a solid run by Saquon Barkley, and another 1st and 10 here. Flushed out right, and an alley to run. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
It's 2nd and inches. The 46-yard line.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jackson. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1.
First down, Minnesota.
They keep it with Barkley on first down. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
From the 40 now on 2nd down. Jackson towards the end zone for Brown. Oh, he almost had it for the pick. A great chance there for the interception in the end zone. Instead, 3rd down. Now Justin Tucker. He has hit from 61 in his career, so he has the leg for this. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt.
Ball, baby, let's go, ball. Let's go, ball, yeah.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'm going to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. So here are the Vikings to take over. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well. Second half begins with a run from Barkley. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
You go tight. You got tight. You got tight right there.
They'll go to Barkley again. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. Well executed there on 2nd down, so do you go back to the air on 3rd?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where you showed that you would run the ball in long-distance situation. You might come back again because I doubt they believe you'll do it a 2nd time.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Well, one thing's for sure, they're still taking their shots downfield, even with a big lead.
No, I think it's way too early to go into a shell, so I like what they're doing. Continue to take your shots. Continue to be aggressive. It's not their job to slow themselves down.
And he's got his tight end, that's Smith. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a 1st down.
And that's a big pickup of a 1st down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. On 2nd down. It's Cohen. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 11 yards there, 1st down. They've got the lead early here in the 3rd quarter, and runs like that are how they establish that lead in the 1st half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they are leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the 2nd half.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. The toss out to Barkley. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 yards there and a 1st down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Eluding the pressure right. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw, so maybe a better decision there. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Give the sack to Blake Martinez.
On any first and goal, the real estate to work with for the offense is really cut down, and the defense knows it. So they often bring heat and pressure, which they did on this play. Got him down for a loss, not a big one.
And it'll be intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Myles Garrett racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone can go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
Let's go, D. Big Sears right here. We got to step it up.
Rodgers going to try and throw on third down. It's caught outright by Graham. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. 6-yard return after a punt of 48. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He has had a whale of a game. In the third quarter, you're already over 200 yards. I don't know what more he can do at this point.
Not a whole lot, and what he has found is that zone that we always talk about, where every carry feels great. Every carry potentially is a sprint to the end zone, and all he wants to do is ride it as long as this game goes on.
Yeah, now he's just thinking 300 yards maybe. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run with Barkley. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Throwing on second down. Jackson flush to his right. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. A gain there of 21 yards. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. First down, a run with Cohen. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. On second down, here's Barkley. He's going to be out of bounds on what's going to wind up being the final play of quarter number 3. Back now at Lambeau. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Saquon Barkley, 29 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And that rushing touchdown, his fourth, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the fourth. 4 receivers now in the formation. 3 to the left, 1 to the right on 2nd and 7. Throwing now is Rodgers. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. That one, a first down pickup of 8. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Myles Garrett, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Now Rodgers. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. Charles, he lost a fumble last week as well, so now back-to-back weeks, maybe you expect that from your tailback, but not him.
You're exactly right, because you work a lot with your running backs about how they have to protect the ball in traffic. But downfield, in open space, that's dangerous as well because you may make someone miss, and their flailing hand can knock the ball away if you don't tuck it away.
They'll keep it on the ground. Barkley. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Give them a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Throwing is Jackson. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Zadarius Smith able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
4th down, here's Jackson. Going deep for Diggs. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. Mike Zimmer got to be unhappy with how that turned out. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the 4th, but they didn't get it.
Guaranteed it's not going to be a fun handshake in the postgame, right? You just know that there's going to be some bad blood there. And I know if we go to the postgame press conferences, the winning coach, you know what he's going to say, why he did it? We need the points, okay? Because you never know at the end of the year if points are going to come into the tiebreaker if we're trying to get into the playoffs. That's always the standard justification.
The throw on the quick slant going to be complete. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Myles Garrett in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. On the delay, Jones. And he loses the football a 2nd time.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Well, maybe a little bit of an anxious moment there as that ball got closer and closer, but it does curl in.
Yeah, actually did a little bit of a slow dance there with the left upright, didn't it? But had just enough space, as you said, for it to curl in.
They'll run on first down. Barkley. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Saquon Barkley. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Starting to really smell a 4-0 start right now. You can't ask for a better first quarter of the season than that.
And you're not supposed to look ahead, but guess what?
You're going to?
They have to, because when you get to if you get to 4-0, you're not just thinking playoffs now. You're thinking about, okay, this team has the capabilities of winning a Super Bowl. They could very well be the best team in the NFL at this moment.
I think they played the best. I mean, there have been a few hiccups offensively and defensively, but probably the best team we've seen, right?
And has the ability to get better.
Here's Aaron Jones in the offense trying back out. After some early struggles running the ball, they've really picked it up. Early it just seemed like there were no holes there. Now all of a sudden the holes seem to be there. I don't know if that's just my imagination.
And give them credit that they kept their confidence, because sometimes when you get stuffed big in the running game early, especially for an entire half, it really makes you retreat a little bit, but not this group. They always have the confidence that they just got their assignments down, they can get in sync with their runners, and off they went.
And now here's another interception. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And a great return as they're finally able to take him down. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not all.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll make it second down. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now it's Rodgers. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Myles Garrett, what a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Rodgers going to throw. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Here's J.K. Scott now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket.
Come on now, let's go.
Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
But, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Vikings, hey, they finish a perfect month of September as they move to 4-0 on the new campaign. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Packers, the defeat is their first of the year as they drop to 3-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.